You know, for as long as I can remember, we've all been told the same thing. If you want to lose weight, you gotta eat less. But what if that's only half the story? Today, we are gonna dive into the science that says the real secret to managing your weight isn't about what you take away. It's about what powerful foods you add to your plate.
So let's just sit with that for a second. It sounds completely backwards, doesn't it? We've been trained to think calories in, calories out, and that's it. So the idea of eating more to weigh less, well, it sounds a little too good to be true. But the science here is absolutely fascinating, and it all starts by asking why most diets just don't work.
And here's the thing, it's not your fault. Our bodies are hardwired for survival. So when you suddenly slash your calories, your body doesn't know you're just trying to get ready for summer. It thinks there's a famine, and it launches this full-scale counterattack. It cranks up your hunger hormones and hits the emergency brake on your metabolism to save every last bit of energy. It's this biological pushback that traps so many of us in that frustrating cycle of dieting and rebounding.
And this is the exciting part, what if we could work with our biology instead of constantly fighting against it? It turns out we can. There are two key systems we can learn to influence: how fast our body burns calories and the hormonal signals that control our hunger. Let's start with the first one, which is this amazing built-in calorie burn that happens every single time you eat.
It's called the thermic effect of food, or TEF for short. The easiest way to think about it is like a metabolic tax. Every time you eat, your body has to spend energy. It has to burn calories just to digest, absorb, and process the nutrients in that food. It's an automatic burn baked right into the process of eating.
And we're not talking about some tiny, insignificant number here. As Mariana Deneen points out, the TEF can be responsible for a whopping 10 to 15% of all the calories you burn in an entire day. That's a huge piece of your metabolic pie. But here's where it gets really strategic. Not all foods are taxed at the same rate.
Okay, now this is where things get really interesting. Just look at the difference here. Fats? Your body is super efficient at processing them, so the tax is tiny, almost nothing, 0 to 3%. Carbs take a little more work, maybe 5 to 10%. But protein, whoa. Protein is in a totally different league. Your body has to work so hard to break it down that it burns off a massive 20 to 30% of its own calories in the process. This just shows so clearly that where your calories come from matters a lot.
So turning up the metabolic burn with high TEF foods is weapon number one. But that's only half the equation. The second, equally powerful secret weapon is getting a handle on hunger itself. And that means learning to influence the constant conversation happening between your gut and your brain, what scientists call the gut-brain axis.
So let's meet the main characters in this story. First, you've got ghrelin. Think of it as the go hormone. It's produced in your stomach, and it's the one that yells up to your brain, "Hey, we're empty down here, feed me." Then you have the stop signals, the satiety squad, PYY, GLP-1, and CCK. After you eat, these guys are released from your intestines, and they send messages to your brain that say, "All right, mission accomplished, we're full, you can stop eating." The whole game is to eat foods that turn down the volume on ghrelin and crank up the volume on these fullness signals.
All right, so with all that science in our back pocket, let's get practical. Let's start building our shopping list. First up are the foods that really take advantage of that high thermic effect. I like to call them the thermic titans. These are the foods that literally rev up your metabolism and make your body burn more calories just by eating them. And who are these mighty titans? Well, no surprise here. They are all protein powerhouses. We're talking about things like lean chicken and turkey, all kinds of delicious seafood like salmon and tuna, of course eggs, and some amazing plant-based options too, like lentils, beans, and tofu. These are going to be the foundation of our high TEF strategy. I just want to pause on this number again because it is such a game changer. Think about it this way. For every 100 calories of protein you eat from something like chicken, your body only really gets to use about 70 or 80 of those calories. The other 20 or 30, they get burned away like a processing fee. This is literally how you can eat more of the right things to burn more. It's amazing.
And get this, the benefits don't even stop there. As Joy Bauer points out, protein is also a master at controlling your blood sugar. By keeping things nice and stable, it helps you avoid those crazy energy spikes and crashes that lead to those sudden, intense hunger pangs. So it's a win on calorie burn and a win on hunger control.
Okay, so the thermic titans help us burn more, check. But to really complete this strategy, we need to handle the other side of the coin, managing hunger. And that is where our satiety superstars come into play. These are the foods that are experts at telling your brain you're full and satisfied for hours.
First up is one of the easiest, most powerful swaps you can make, choosing Greek yogurt over regular. The difference is just incredible. It all comes down to the straining process, which removes a lot of the liquid whey. And look at the result. You get nearly double the protein and about half the sugar.
Yeah, you are seeing that right. We are talking about almost twice the protein, gram for gram. And that incredible protein density is exactly why it's so good at hitting those satiety triggers we talked about. It's just a simple switch that can make a huge difference in how full you feel all day long.
All right, our next superstar works in a completely different, almost mechanical way. Let's talk about oats. Their power comes from a special kind of soluble fiber that has a really cool trick up its sleeve. The magic ingredient here is something called beta-glucan. When this fiber mixes with water in your stomach, it forms this thick, gel-like substance. This gel literally, physically, slows down how fast your stomach empties. The result? You feel full for way longer, and it helps prevent those sharp insulin spikes after a meal. Pretty clever, right?
And of course, you can't have a conversation about feeling full and satisfied without talking about healthy fats. So, let's bring in one of the all-time champions, the avocado. Its power to crush hunger is legendary, but the reasons why go even deeper than you might think. Avocados really bring a triple threat to the table. First, you've got those amazing monounsaturated fats that are great for satiety. Second, they are loaded with fiber, which adds to that feeling of fullness. And third, and this is where the science gets really cool, the specific fibers in avocados act as food for your good gut bacteria, helping to shift your whole gut microbiome into a state that's better at regulating appetite and supporting weight management. It's literally working from the inside out.
Okay, so we've met the team. We've got our thermic titans that boost the burn, and we've got our satiety superstars that crush hunger. Now, for the most important part, how do we actually put this all together and turn this science into a simple, everyday strategy?
If you remember just one thing from this entire explainer, make it this. The real magic happens when you bring these two groups together. The goal is simple. At every single meal, you want to combine a thermic titan with a satiety superstar. This isn't just adding one benefit to another. It's like multiplying their effects.
And this is what that synergy looks like in real life. Just picture this plate. You've got grilled salmon. That's your thermic titan, actively burning more calories. You pair it with some avocado, your satiety superstar, sending those powerful I'm full signals to your brain. You see what's happening? You're hitting the problem from both sides. You're boosting your metabolism while you control your appetite. That's not a diet plate. That's a power plate.
And finally, we have to remember that food doesn't exist in a vacuum. Two quick but critical support habits. First, hydration. So often our brain mistakes thirst for hunger, so staying hydrated can be your first line of defense against cravings. And second, sleep. It is absolutely non-negotiable. When you don't get enough sleep, your hunger hormones go haywire, which creates this powerful drive to eat more, no matter how perfect your diet is.
So here's the bottom line. Managing your weight doesn't have to be this constant, miserable battle of restriction. By understanding the science of how your body actually works, you can build an incredibly powerful and satisfying strategy around adding these amazing foods to your diet. So the question really is, are you ready to stop worrying about what to take away and start getting excited about what you can add to your plate?